Timer activated.
Goodness.
I warned you.
Where am I? What is happening? How do I get out of here?
That's it. You can never leave.
Boot up the cauldron. It's alive. Feet circuits flicker. Data screen.
I kind of like having an intro kind of let us warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of get into it.
Caught in cobwebs. Bite, bite, bite. AI ghosts in the dead of night. Futures improv.
So that's when you get to the Futures improv bits.
I know. It takes a while.
Futures improv.
Hey, you know, these AI tools are working hard, man.
Right, they are, yes. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Futures improv. Trick or treat.
Oh,
Just when we thought it was over. Oh my God. It's funny because when I previewed this for a little bit and it doesn't feel long until you play it.
oh yes. Yeah. You know what airtime is like.
Yeah, that's right. Extended by an eternity.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Hey, well, welcome to Tech or Treat.
Yes. Tech or Treat.
The special Halloween edition of our famous new podcast game show, Futures Improv, which took like 45 seconds of music to get to.
Right.
I'm Sean Leahy with my spooky ghost with the most co-host.
You've been practicing this,
I
Sean.
had to write that down because I knew I would never get through the alliteration correctly without fumbling over it. But Andrew Maynard,
Good to be here.
welcome to our Tech or Treat special bonus episode.
Of Modem Futura.
Of
Yes.
Modem Futura. Yes, good. Thank you for pointing that out. Of course, you won't get this unless you know of. Anyway,
Yes.
So for people who have not yet heard, I think it was on our anniversary episode is when I first started this little game. And so just real quickly, we have a time.
The clock is ticking.
The clock is literally ticking.
Yes.
Because every time I say we'll do a short one, it's we keep breaking like the bank on the length. But here's the gist. We'll get into it right away. We use AI slop to help us generate some weird sort of futures and sci-fi themed scenarios that are just fun to riff off of and go. And originally the joke was I thought they would be terrible, and it turns out they're actually quite fun.
Right.
So here we are. We now have a whole Halloween special episode.
Yes. The
devoted to
Halloween slop episode. Yes.
the Slopoween. I don't know. That's not going to catch on. All right. So should we just jump in? Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. So I've highlighted a couple. We've got 10. We won't get through 10.
Goodness me. Yes. We've got 17 minutes to go.
Oh, I'm feeling the pressure. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. I feel like an easy one to sort of start off with is one entitled The Haunted Algorithm.
Okay.
Right. So here's the scenario. A defunct social media AI wakes up every Halloween resurrecting posts from users long gone and starts tagging people it thinks might miss them or know them or whatever, essentially resurrecting long dead online personas. Sentimental glitch, digital seance, or pure harassment from beyond.
I'm amazed nobody has done this. I bet they have actually. If they haven't, I think they should. I think this is a genius idea.
Well, and it's bizarre. I mean, in some ways,
Ghosts of Halloween's Past on X.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in some ways, I feel like in some ways this does exist already. Again, we live in this weird space where social media platforms have, come and gone and whatever, but also, like when you originally signed, I think all the way back, like early days, like Facebook and things like that.
Yep.
You sign up, you put all your stuff out there, and of course, life is life, and people pass on.
That's right. Yes, you have those legacy accounts.
And sometimes those accounts, if people don't know or they're just abandoned, and they just live on as if they're. And what's strange is that you can continue to like send messages to them and stuff. And
Right.
and I'm sure some people maybe find that very sort of therapeutic in some ways or something.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's a weird thing to think about is like these, this glitch where it's like these, accounts of long ago come back to.
Right. But I'm also thinking, and because of course you have these social media bots now, we talked about the Facebook ones and you can sort of create them elsewhere, but I love this idea of them just coming alive one day a year.
Yeah.
And I could see this being a trend, and it moves it from just being sort of creepy and intrusive to a rather cool sort of feature.
Yeah. Well, and as I'm thinking this, I'm like, wasn't the, isn't there some cultural aspects of this too around Halloween of like being able to access like past family members or something like. Isn't that kind of?
Is it Halloween? Maybe it's one of these.
Because it wasn't the movie Coco about that or something. I can't really remember.
Yeah, you're the one with young kids.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. When you watch these movies, you're like half paying attention. Yeah, I'm second screening the entire time. I'm like, but that would be kind of interesting, right? That there would be this one day a year where it's sort of like this like AI. Because and to be honest, I mean now too with all of the different elements that people are either sometimes even intentionally just putting into those exact kind of things of, we'll train the AI on my voice, we'll put all this stuff in there and then, kind of let it go.
I'm thinking we're recording this on the Wednesday before the Friday, which is Halloween. I'm already working out, have I got any time to create something in my busy schedule? Because this is, it's probably a really crass idea, but I really like this.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny. I just looked it up quickly because I was remembering a story I had just heard about the late actress Suzanne Summers. Did you know the story?
I don't think so.
So prior to her death, she had given her husband, and they had been married for like 50 years or something. I mean, it was a very long time, but that he had created an AI bot. I don't know, a digital replica of her. And it's just interesting because he's, was quoted like, I can't tell the difference and all this kind of things. But, so like services like this are out there that people are actively doing or paying for. So it does raise this really interesting question. Like, what would you do? Like, it would be really creepy if it was unintentional, but yet still like, I don't know, that would be kind of an interesting one. So, but
that's an interesting idea. I'm not sure that it adds any sort of value to society, but
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because randomly, I was recently doing a thing where I was playing with a foundational model, like on device. And it was just, again, going back to like those first things you tried with ChatGPT back in like 2023, like write me a story about this. And I remember asking this model, and it's a very limited local model, right? So it's not that big. But asking it to just write a story about, you do some random thing, and it creates a character. And I said, well, tell me a story. And the story it came up with has actually stuck with me because it was it's slightly unsettling. And it was basically like the last human text message, right? So like as a system that has all become AI driven. And so I'm thinking about this with this post as well, or this kind of scenario, that when everything becomes AI driven, that you no longer think any communication is from a human, except for that one human gets on there.
I'm going to have to write this story.
Yeah.
The last human text message. Yeah. That is brilliant.
But then no one believes it. No one believes it. And they're signaling like, help, how do I get up? And no one believes that this message is actually from a human being. Right. And I'm like, and just like the painful, like they're sending this message, but it like never goes anywhere. Right. Because they're like just putting it out. And but then, of course, that algorithm is like, don't, no one's seeing that.
Yes. But that feels like where we are now. And if you think about sort of how the algorithms on anything from X to LinkedIn to whatever sort of either surface posts or don't, and that frustration, you have something really profound that you post, and 2 weeks later, 50 people have seen it.
So like, and meanwhile, all the like the AI generated avatars are getting all the.
I know. So it is the equivalent of just sort of shouting, "Help! Help! You can't hear me!"
And the ghost in the machine just going.
Right. Yes. Yes.
or actually
creepy music. Doing the metaphorical thing of putting blankets on top of you. You're suffocating under the blankets.
That's right. And it's just like putting things down. So I think in some ways, everyone have a happy, scary Halloween because we're living that one. I think already.
That's right. Yes.
Hey, these are supposed to be hypothetical. Come on. Yep. All right, let me switch to another one. I'm looking at time. I'm like, okay, we've got time.
It's going fast.
I think we'll get 3 is my goal. All right, this one, I like this one a lot because this one is entitled The Mirror That Remembers. Right? Smart mirrors, though that's not a new concept. People have been doing smart mirrors. And if you're not familiar, it's basically a regular mirror with electronics and cameras, up to cameras.
This is new to me, actually.
Yeah. And the simplest version that there's lots of DIY things, so you can Google this and look it up, is just to make a basically like a panel mirror. So you use a mirror, you could put like Raspberry Pi or some sort of computing device with a screen, but you can see through the mirror to see the screen. So, while you're brushing your teeth, you can see the weather and the calendar and stuff.
And I've seen that in hotels, yes.
And so you can also have a camera in there, which is, of course, be careful where you put one of these mirrors. But now, right? So think about this idea, this concept of a smart mirror. But now it starts showing you not your reflection, but who you could have been
in
another timeline, or just like, or think about it this way: whatever system is behind there, this like self like reflection and psychological horror of this. We've talked before about not knowing through what happens through that pipeline of when the image is captured and what's shown.
Yes.
But you think about like the dysmorphia that we bring to our own reflection and image anyway. But what if now that system is tailoring it either to maybe it starts off with make me look good, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, right? And starts showing you these things. But then over time, it starts to manipulate the user by what it's showing you about yourself.
Right. I mean, just like sort of ChatGPT memory, you've now got mirror memory. So it begins to, okay. So let's
isn't this a weird one? Like
so first thing, and maybe this already exists, but I'm wondering how realistic you can make one of these things. So effectively the mirror, which is a screen that is emulating a mirror. I wonder how close you can get to a mirror experience with a screen. So that's number one. I mean, there are some optical challenges there, but I bet you can get pretty close. So if you can get that, so it actually looks like you're looking into a real mirror, then you can start doing some really weird stuff. If what you're actually seeing is a digital projection, but it doesn't feel like it.
As I'm thinking about this, I'm like breaking down the tech of this. I'm like, okay, think about like Vision Pros, for example, right?
Yes.
Those are doing dual 8K by 8K eyes at 90 frames a second per eye, right? And I'm like, we have a screen, a monitor that could do basically, as long as it can do over 120 frames, it's going to be hard to
resolution. Now the challenge is the how you're looking at it. So you've got to be able to identify somebody's eyes so you can actually adjust it. So, which is fine until you've got two people, and then it gets confused.
Sure. And that's when there's like, only one, please. It's like that old joke, right? Like where you get on the scale and say, one at a time, please.
But even if you go for the only one person, so this is the smart mirror, which will just detect one viewer and it'll adjust the view to that one particular viewer's gaze. So the possibilities are limitless. Everything from a mirror that looks like it's reflecting you till all of a sudden you don't appear in the mirror, so all of a sudden you become the vampire.
Right.
to sort of reflecting something back which isn't quite you. So now you've got the uncanny valley of you.
But then also raising that question, right? I mean, even just the amount of fun you can have both from a physics perspective and also just psychology of a mirror. Right? Like, I mean, even the understanding of the amount of time it takes from the light to hit you, reflect off this reflective medium and come back. Like, are you ever actually looking at you anyway?
Right.
I mean, you're technically not, right?
Yes,
you're
existential angst. Yes. Who am I looking into this mirror?
And then in between that, you have a opportunity for manipulation. Right. So it's like, do you see yourself? I think you had mentioned this with the memory thing once about Harry Potter. And there's another Harry Potter connection with that mirror that shows you what you want to see or something.
See, that's exactly it.
I'm blanking on the name of the mirror. But
no, it begins with an E, I think. But my Harry Potter lore is not up to scratch. But this is exactly it. Yes.
And then you reach in your pocket and you pull out the dime or the Sorcerer's Stone or whatever it was. It's like, oh, there it is. But yeah, isn't that one I find both technically reasonable to be done, but also talk about like, again, Black Mirror-ish in the sense of, but I would extend that, and we've talked about this before in other episodes, but extending that back to this idea of trying to understand essentially the purity of the communication that you're seeing, right? So even because I think when we were talking about before, we were talking about like over Zoom or some others like video mediated connection and intercepting that and changing facial cues and smiles and eye contact and things like that. But what if that's just being done in a loop directly back to yourself?
I know. Yes. So much you can do with that, sort of both as a sort of piece of installation art to get you thinking critically about how the medium changes how you perceive yourself and the world around you to all sorts of things.
That's a wild. I really like that one because that one's worth a pin
really scary,
to come back.
But really appealing to make.
I know. Well, Well, I mean, because you can think too, right? Like the intent for good could also be there of trying to correct a dysmorphic view of someone's self, right?
Yep. But even at the trivial end, you're wondering what to wear. So you have the full length smart mirror, and you just say, "Show me in this, show me in that." Yes.
they're like
2 hours later, yes.
Like I got
what happens if I change this tire?
Or it's just simple. Just put it's the black T-shirt model, right?
Which black T-shirt should I wear today? Yes.
Like, this is really simple. I like it.
Well, that will still be me 2 hours later. Sort of. I like that black T-shirt, not quite so much that one.
And then it gets down to like the neck. You're like, the way it fits?
Yes,
not all shirts are made the same, unfortunately.
Could be the end of civilization as we know, with everybody standing in front of their smart mirror.
That's right. Oh, I just had this flashback too. It's the Arthur Dent asking for the cup of tea, but it's like, just show me the perfect black T-shirt, and it's like it just breaks down. The whole everything goes dark.
Yep.
AWS East Coast goes offline again.
There we are.
Because Andrew is like asking for like the perfect black T-shirt.
Okay, we have 4 minutes for.
All right, here we go. All right, I've got this one. I got this one teed up here, which I think this one resonates with me because this is I think a close enough to realistic nightmare scenario for me.
Okay,
that would prevent me from ever going through with this. The neural nightmare mode.
Nightmare mode.
So brain-computer interfaces.
Yes.
Right. These are in existence. They have human patients / explorers engaging this. Right. So take a brain-computer interface company, and for fun, as a feature, they add, we'll give you a Halloween nightmare patch so that you can experience something fun and visceral. Because apparently, I am not one of them. Apparently, there's lots of crazy people out there that really enjoy being scared nearly to death at these things, which I have never understood. I am not one of those people.
You see the company headline, we go one step further.
Yes. Now you can live it, right? But then,
or not. Yes.
There's a glitch, and they can't turn it off.
So you're stuck in the eternal nightmare.
What happens if you have a brain-computer implant and it, for whatever the reason, a technical glitch or intent, you get stuck with something that it is feeding you that you cannot turn off.
Yeah. So actually, this is the stuff of sci-fi novels. I've read several novels where you have this sort of scenario, not necessarily the glitch, but you put people in this sort of artificial reality where they have the neural link, and you live the nightmare that somebody imposes on you.
Yeah.
But yes, you can absolutely see it as starting off as an entertainment thing, that sort of safe fright idea, until it suddenly becomes not safe and you get caught in that loop and you can't get out.
Or coming back, I think we were talking, I think it was in another Futures Improv episode with like the memory donors, right? People sharing these. But what happens when you start to blur that line between what you know to be yours and something not? And then, when does it no longer become this thing that you can even identify as an external thing?
So I'm going to take this in a slightly different direction, which I think is very plausible now. So now there are a number of devices that are being sold that are transcranial sort of stimulators, neural stimulators that you sort of put on your head, and they do various things. People claim that they can sort of increase your ability to sort of gameplay and things like that. But what if you do one that stimulates the parts of your brain the sort of the risk, the fear flight sort of location.
Yeah, sure.
So you can actually stimulate anxiety.
It's called social media. It's doing a great job already. But
and so I don't think we're too far away from being able to do this. And so you can see both the intentionality, people who want that little sort of that spark, that adrenaline spark, sort of doing it, but then the potential for manipulation, and the obvious one is in the gaming community. So you put on your headset, and part of the gameplay is you stimulate somebody else. You have the ability to raise their anxiety levels.
Oh my God.
Because then that becomes very much part of the gameplay, especially if you're sort of playing across sort of the internet. And then what could possibly go wrong with that? And I can see a lot of people wanting to do this.
I can see 100% people wanting to, just because. So as someone who plays, I was going to say, as you mentioned gaming and these caps, I'm like, can I look one of these? I'm like, I got to get my Battlefield 6 stats up a little higher. But I mean, so already, in a multiplayer, like competitive game, that's already happening. You just don't know it. Right? Because you lose, you make that great shot. You're like, that is amazing. When you lose, you're like, this game is rigged. I hate everything about it. Right? So your emotions are going up and down. And there's adrenaline with all of that, with all these things. You get these surges of adrenaline and all that kind of stuff. But how tantalizing would it be to know that if you get that win, you're also sending, even if it was like a mild electrical shock, right? But you were, in some ways, you're like, you, not only did it happen, you know it happened.
So this is going to be the next iteration of the Stanford experiment, where you could send one of your competitors a little shock, or also the equivalent, the neural equivalent of that.
Or if you do something good, you get some kind of like, there's our timer. You get some sort of like dopamine reward or something, right? It's you get the pellet or you get the pain, right? I don't know.
I think there will be a huge market for this.
Yeah. Well, haptics are huge. I mean, that's a big thing. And I still come back to Ready Player One and those kind of things where in these pure like virtualized environments, having that like full body haptic experience changes the way that you would experience like this immersive game or whatever.
And I've got to say, this actually sort of ties back to an Ian M. Banks novel, Player of Games.
Oh, yeah. I just listened to that.
Very sophisticated novel. But part of that is sort of in these very sophisticated games, there is the emotional manipulation.
Yep.
You have the opportunity to change the emotional state of your competitors.
Player. Yep.
Yes.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be, well, we'll have to, we'll see next year at like the gamer conferences, like when they're like, and now get your headset, and they're like, VR headset? No. This is your pain cap or whatever.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
The nightmare scenario.
The nightmare scenario. Awesome. All right. Well, that was our timer. I promise we keep this short. So we'll wrap up. I'll just leave people with this one it's not really a scenario, but something to consider that it brought up was this idea of the simulation seance. And the question is about if we discover that we're in the simulation or that there are multiple simulations running simultaneously, that all those ghosts and those apparitions and all these things are just sort of like that cross bleed between those simulations, right?
Yes.
So they are real. They are out there. Right. Kind of spooky and kind of creepy to think about.
That's one to come back to.
We'll come back to that. But yeah, awesome. Andrew, thank you for joining me on this spooktacular Futures Improv. I don't know. Right. Awesome. And yeah, well, anyway.
And I bet you've got an outro to go
I've
with
got
it
an
as well.
outro. And yeah, so everyone out there, if you are going to go enjoy this year's Halloween festivities, have a great time, be safe. Drop us a line if you come across, or if you have any of your own set of wacky, wild, cool Futures Improv scenarios, let us know. Drop us a line. And like always, help us promote the show by subscribing, by liking our show and giving us a rating and review. It helps all the other ghosts and ghouls and goblins out there find the the show. So yeah, we'll see you on the next episode of Modem Futura.
Little Pac-Man sort of.
It is. It's very chiptune-y. Right. I like it.
But we got to work out how to make these shorter.
I know. What I need to do is take this and just say, give me the 10-second version.
Right.
But I'll just make up credits to roll. I'm going to do that.
So as this goes out, you realize the scariest thing is when people think that we're the AI and this is reality.
I know, right? Yeah, which one is fake?
Well, I know I'm here. Are you really there, Sean?
At least I think I am. I mean, but how would I know? How would I know?
You're just an echo of the past.
That's right.
In my solipsistic brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'm from another dimension, another simulation. I shouldn't be here. Where am I?
You're leaking through.
Oh, so silly.